Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, Job Seeker Help, where I try to help job seekers. Today we're going to talk about the elevator speech. Every job seeker needs one. Why? Because when you're in an interview and somebody asks you, tell me about yourself, that's a great opportunity to pull out your elevator speech. If you're talking to recruiters, you can tell them your elevator speech, or if you're writing an email, which is an important part of networking, you can use your elevator speech as kind of the opening statement, or even the whole email if you want. When you go to hiring events or job fairs, it's great to be able to very succinctly tell people about who you are, what you do, and where you're trying to go. And it's a pretty good start to your resume. So before we get going, I need to ask you, did you do your homework? If you watched the last video, I asked you to define the job you're looking for and list your most important skills. If you haven't done that, then why don't you go ahead and watch the last video, which happens to be the first video of this channel, and do the homework before you continue on. So what exactly is an elevator speech? Well, it's about 30 seconds long, and I might suggest you shoot for about 15 seconds. It introduces you who you are, what you do, or what you want to do, explains why you're qualified to do that, gives a few details about you and your career, focuses in on your skills and strengths, and that delivers the hook, which is when you build your network or ask for help or just kind of spread the word about what you're looking for. So we're going to go through some examples of how to build your elevator speech. First off, I don't want you to follow this exactly, because otherwise we're going to have a whole bunch of job seekers out there saying the exact same thing. You need to create your own elevator speech. These are just examples of how you can build it one part at a time. So part one is describing the job you're looking for. So you might say, I am a project manager. In college, I studied journalism. Or I want to get into advertising. And this is why you have to be really specific about the job you're looking for. The second part of your elevator speech is your qualifications. So you might say something like, I spent most of my career involved in managing software development projects at Microsoft. Or, I graduated with honors from college. Or, after designing web graphics for the last few years, I think I'm ready to move into advertising. Part 3 of building your elevator speech is kind of giving some details. Be careful not to give too many details, and be careful about the kinds of details that you give. You want them to be benign, you want them to be short, and you want them to be interesting. So you might want to say something like, while working at Google, I was one of the project managers for Google Street View. Now, how cool does that sound? Or, I made the dean's list every semester, and one of the articles I wrote for the college newspaper was picked up by the Associated Press. How cool is that? Or, I've always been the most creative person in my group, and I know I'd be good in advertising. Part 4 of building your elevator speech is about your skills and strengths. So you might say something like, I find that my employers always appreciate my candor, follow through, and my versatility. Or you might say, I'm a fast learner, an excellent communicator, and the feedback I've gotten is that my writing style is easy to read and understand. Or you might say, I have killer graphics art skills, I love being challenged, and I like learning new things. Part 5 is the hook, which may change depending on where you are in your career and what you're trying to accomplish. So here's just a few examples. You might say, right now I'm targeting Apple because I really enjoy managing projects in a creative, innovative environment, and I'm ready for a new challenge. Or you might say, where do you think I should be looking for a job in journalism? Or, do you know anyone who works at Acme Advertising? So those two last examples are great ways to build your network and tap into the hidden job market. So here's an example of a full elevator speech. I'm a technical project manager, and I spent the last 9 years working at Acme Incorporated, where I managed the project to update their widget software to version 9.0. My employers have always appreciated my honest leadership, collaborative management style, and my get-it-done attitude. Right now, I'm trying to go to work for Initech. Do you know anyone who works there? It's short, sweet, and gives the listener all the information they need. Now, here's a few tips for your elevator speech. First off, don't memorize the whole thing, because if you get distracted or confused, you're going to end up saying, and trying to remember the rest of your elevator speech. And then you're just going to look like you don't even know who you are. Instead, just memorize a few key points out of it so that you can just pull it out and use it for almost any circumstance. Make sure you practice it on people and get feedback from them, and always be improving your elevator speech. Thanks for watching, and good luck in your job search.